Alright guys, what's up? My name is Jinsei Kan, and I'm here today to bring you a little series that I'm going to try to call Dark Souls Untouched Lore, where I'm going to look at some questions in the game that have either been simply brushed over or perhaps completely ignored by the community. Now, for this first episode, then what I'm going to do is focus on a question that I've had irking me for a while, but later on in the series what I'd like to see is comments from you guys, comments from the viewers as to what questions you have pertaining to the series and what you think has not been completely touched on. So the very first thing that I want to look at in this first episode is the game mechanic hollowing. Now, before we even begin, I just want to make it known that because of certain conditions, then I can't use any footage that I have recorded. Mainly that my computer does not have the processing power to run the game and record it once. Hopefully then I'll be able to get a better system soon, but only time will tell. So without further ado, then let's just get into it. So, to begin, what is hollowing? Hollowing is where an undead loses their mind and purpose, and becomes an empty husk of oneself. But what I feel is brushed over is how hollowing plays into your journey, and how important it is overall. Now, my theory is that the fact that you are able to turn hollow is what makes you so easily manipulated in the soul games. First, by the primordial serpents, and then by the Emerald Herald. But why is it that we go through these requests with no questions asked? I believe that the reason why you do so is because you have already long forgotten what your original purpose is, and are now on the verge of going hollow yourself. One goes hollow once they forget themselves, or once they have completed their mission. So Lair in Dark Souls 1 was on a quest for his own son, and once he found it, the next time he encountered you, he attacked you with no hesitation. He had become an empty husk of himself. Lucatiel of Mirror in Dark Souls 2 is seen slowly forgetting who she is, her purpose in the world, and why she is here. This happens to many characters as you journey through both Lordran and Drangleic. These beings are slowly overcome by insanity. They forget their purpose, and they eventually go hollow. But why does this not happen to you? The strongest evidence I have to this is the Emerald Herald of Dark Souls 2. When you first enter Drangleic, then you came on a journey to reverse the curse. But almost immediately you are given a new purpose. Bearer of the curse, seek souls, larger, more powerful souls. Seek the king, that is the only way. Lest this land swallow you whole, as it has so many others. Now, when I first started Dark Souls 2, then I began to think that seeking the king was the answer to reversing this ailment. But as you continue, then you begin to believe that this has nothing to do with your original journey at all. But why is this? I think it's safe to say that the curse of the undead is near irreversible. You may be able to temporarily cure it, as we saw when King Vendrick attempted to by traveling to the land of giants, but you cannot completely remove it. Knowing this, the Emerald Herald gives you the quest of seeking the king as a new purpose, and in order to ensure it is not forgotten and that you do not turn hollow, she repeats this line nearly every time you speak to her, almost as though she is trying to drill this idea into your head, or perhaps to continue reminding you so that this purpose is not lost. Yet another NPC you encounter who supports this theory is Gavlan. Now, Gavlan is a Gurm warrior who you first encounter in No Man's Wharf. He is known for his phrase Gavlan wheel, Gavlan deal. But what I found curious is when you encounter other Gurm warriors later in the game, then they are hollow. I do believe that Gavlan discovered to prevent hollowing he must be given a new purpose. As such he set out as a merchant, also being the only one who will buy items from you. The constant repetition of Gavlan wheel, Gavlan deal is his way of constantly reminding himself of his purpose in this world, preventing him from going hollow like his fellow warriors. The final thing I wish to address here is the human effigy. Now, I believe human effigies play a larger role in the Dark Souls series because they do not resemble who you are, but who you wish to be. The item description for a human effigy is as follows: a warm, soft, shadow-like effigy. Use this item to reverse hollowing. It also weakens the links to other worlds, preventing invasions and most cooperation. Peer closely at an effigy, and one begins to perceive a human form, but whose form it takes depends on the person looking. When you are given your first effigy, and you are told to peer inside, then this is when you first enter your character creation page. This is much unlike the original Dark Souls, where you create your character and then find him or her within a cell. Now, in Dark Souls 2, once your character is created, then he instantly finds himself in the starting armor with their starting weapons or spells. Meanwhile, their wanderer set is found within their inventory. Now, is it possible that peering into an effigy simply turns your character into a being that he wishes he were in order to continue his journey? And if so, that would also explain soul vessels, which are used to reallocate stat points. Much like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2 makes it possible to move around stats as the player desires. This makes it possible to try multiple builds while never once having to change their character. Is it possible that this choice was not just made to satisfy the characters, but also because the one playing, the character, the chosen undead, the wandering undead, whatever you want to call them, could it be that they are not satisfied with the being that they believe to be, with what they saw when they first peered inside the effigy, and as such they seek to attempt a new path, one more suited for who they believe they were in the past? But that's all I have right now. If you have any more theories, if you have anything to add to this, don't forget to add it in the comments, and I'm going to more than happily create an updated version of this video. But right now I'm just doing this to see how well it's received, to see how many people are actually interested in the series. So don't forget to post your comments below, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm going to see you all next time. So see ya.